Flesh and Blood's national season is nearly done, with just 2 more this weekend. And it's pretty safe to say it's been a pretty phenomenal ride. The meta feels as wide open as we've probably ever seen it. And even if this does only end up being for a short while, it's still something that many games have never been able to achieve. And while all of that is indeed exciting, for me, the coolest thing I've seen so far came last weekend when Paweł Lizuk took Azalea, that's right kids, Azalea, to a legit top 8 finish in Poland. And this wasn't just a third-tier hero taking down a 20-something nationals. The Poles do not mess around when it comes to Fab. This was a legit solid accomplishment, and I'm impressed as hell. Primarily because I've been trying to get a tri-shot rapid-fire deck to work for 2 metas now and falling on my face. So today I'm giving props and breaking down this little gem and trying to see what we can do with it going forward. Was this a one-trick pony, or is there actually something here? A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, Fab folks. Welcome back to Dice Commando and Go Again, a fabulous cast. Thanks for hanging out today as we give credit where credit is due to our Polish brothers and sisters. Now, having discussions around who the best players are is pretty ludicrous in a global environment like this. We could go round and round about Canada versus US, UK versus Europe, New Zealand versus Australia, and so on. But one thing is certain, and I am confident saying this, I'm pretty sure the Poles have the most fun at their Flesh and Blood events. I saw a bunch of pics over the weekend, which no, I have not been able to find again, with Shyana poster cutouts, everybody putting their heads through for a photo booth. Apparently everyone there carries swords to these events, and all other sorts of cool stuff. I'm honestly pretty jealous of how much fun they at least appear to have at their events. But hey, I guess when it snows that much, you just have to go and play inside. Now, I'd be remiss at this point to not put up a picture of their last champion, Lucas. Apparently, their Fab players are quite literally rock stars over there. This guy is high school me's hero. Freaking awesome. And also congrats to the new Polish national champion, Bartosz. Finally, a huge shout out to Fab Lab for coverage and doing a great job with the content this last weekend. I think that most of the world's hearts broke at the same time. I think you could actually hear it when Paweł finally lost on his Azalea run. And that leads us to today's topic, which is this Azalea deck. I'm putting it up now, and I do note that this was pulled from LSS's website at fabtc.com with one edit. It was mentioned in the Fab Lab interview with him that he was running a Rainbow of Boltyn shot, which was not actually included in the LSS final deck list. So if you want to check out that interview, and you should, head on over to Fab Lab for that and make sure to give him a great big like and sub if you haven't already. All right, so deck list is up, and there's a lot of really interesting things going on here. First off, look at the equipment list. It's pretty shy, right? Like he's just, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Right, you've got some natural AB on Azalea stuff. That's always been kind of cool, but just going for broke. He's got a game plan. He's going for it. Go to the pitch one. We've got the Endless Arrows, the E-Strikes, Fate for Scenes, Fatigue Shot, Rabble, makes sense. Glide Path, Red. God, that's a good card. Remorseless, the Searing Shots, Seeks and Destroy. Sikkim Shot, that one's interesting. Sink Below, Sleep Dart, Take Aim, Take Cover, and 3 of a Kind, right? So you do notice that you have a full suite of the Azalea access. Red reacts, Red D reacts. 2 Memorial Grounds, that makes sense. So recycling probably Red in the Ledger to try and get this to work. Rain Razors, and then we've got Rapid Fire. That's right, folks. It's the Rapid Fire Knock the Death Whistle combo. In the pitch threes, Energy Potion, Knock the Death Whistle, and then Tri-Shot. And then, of course, I've got those 9 Boltyn shots there, as mentioned, were not included on this list. Now, what it appears to me from this and for other stuff I've listened to is this is a little more of a control-focused type deal, right? So what it appears to me, and from what I had seen looking at the gameplay and stuff, trying to string the game on by throwing disruption, I guess it's not disruption in how we think of it today with Icelander and Ice Control and all that, but essentially trying to disrupt and slow down while he can set up for the combo. Now, the combo in question, and the offer is always there, Pavel. If you want to come on and educate us in the ways of your Azalea, I would love to have you. I'm just freaking blown away by this, because I've been trying to do this, right? I've been trying to pull off a rapid fire tri-shot combo. Now, just throwing the cards up, I mean, I think you guys can kind of see the play there. What you're trying to do is give all of your arrows go again, and then with tri-shot be able to draw a buttload of stuff to also feed and drop more arrows in. I had been trying to use Pathing Helix on this as well, just because it's a pseudo effective reload with your arrows. Obviously, he did not have that in. Just an aside, another arrow that I use a lot that you notice he does not have is Ridge Rider Shot. I actually typically run Ridge Rider Red and Ridge Rider Blue for the peak, right, for the opt. But I think it makes sense. I think that's not what he's trying to do. It's also a 0-4 arrow, right? So it's nice and affordable. But it's not what he's trying to do here, right? Some of these arrows are very clearly sideboard type arrows, which makes sense. You don't always need Sleep Dart's really good, but you don't always need it in every matchup. But he's also got Remorseless in there. He's got Fatigue Shot in there. I'm sure he's swapping those out based on his matchups. Now, going back to the combo, pulling off a 2-card combo in Flesh and Blood is not really that hard, except in the case where you don't have a storage option in your arsenal, which is Azalea's problem, right? She can't, she can, but she's running cross-wrap, right? That's what's better for her it is than New Horizon as to what I'm referring. And you don't have that arsenal slot, so you can't just say, you can't get your rapid fire and tuck it away waiting for you to get your tri-shot or vice versa. It doesn't work like that. And that's why, at least from what I've been able to gather on how this works, you have to basically play the stall game, for lack of a better take here. And I think that's why this deck might have done as well as it did in the current meta, right? It was a very good meta for that to potentially happen in, because we are in a more control type, slower type meta. And as long as the key cards that you have in your hand, like let's say you get hit and they strip some cards from you on a Pummel or Oaken Old or whatever it may be, right? Unless they're the cards you actually cared about, that's not as disruptive, right, to reuse the same term, to your game plan. So I think that's very interesting. Looking at the overall field from this event, I mean, it looks pretty standard in terms of, to say pretty standard in this meta, I think is not an accurate statement, because I don't know that anything is, right? But if you look at overall, you still saw your Oldhims, and I don't know, this is really just awesome. And so going into what I was talking about with setting it up, right? That's what the struggles I've had is you can't really plan ahead, and you kind of have to. That's what he's doing here, I imagine, is he's trying to pitch stack for this, right? Pitch stack's not, because it's typically very hard to pitch stack with Azalea, right? You're pitching essentially the card you don't want, and then you're firing the arrows, and all of a sudden you have a whole bunch of cards that you quote unquote don't want at the bottom of your deck. So I can't imagine playing this without having repped it a bajillion and a half times to get the experience. So again, way big props. Like, well done, sir. I know that I'm going to put my own flair on this, but I'm going to run it this weekend, or I'm at least going to try to run it this weekend and see what we can do with it and see if this has got any legs. I do agree. I think that, in a control meta, this stands more of a chance than, but Fi's still a thing, right? And Fi's still a thing. So anyway, let me know what you folks are thinking. Are you excited about this as well? Sorry about that. I thought I could actually make it, but anyway, cast is clearly over. Thanks, folks. Go Commando.